Good morning. My name is Dick Fiske. Back in the late Miocene, I was director of this museum from 1980 to mid-1985. And since that time, I've been a research scientist in the Department of Mineral Sciences. I've been retired since January '06. I come to work every day I'm in town. If you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life. This morning, talking about Kilauea, every successful talk has to have a show and tell. All right, let's get right into it. Kilauea is the most studied volcano in the world in Hawaii. All the bright colors are young lava flows. The green area is an area accidentally preserved by faulting and whatnot. It's about 2,200 years old. And nobody, believe me, I've been working in Hawaii off and on for 30 years. People don't come down into this old area. This surface, as I say, is more than 2,000 years old. It's not very attractive, and nothing appears to be there. Who would want to come down there and look around? Well, there's some strange things. And you see rocks on the surface, and here is this rock. This rock doesn't belong there. It's a different rock from the lava flow that, upon which it rests. It weighs about 9 pounds, and it's located 7 kilometers from the summit, about twice the distance from here to National Airport and back. Well, we started looking for other rocks, and they're all over the place. Most of them we just step over and leave there. Some of them we actually overlook. Here's our colleague Tim Rose. This is a staged shot, of course, but you see that rock in the foreground. That's the way the big ones occur. And unless you're looking for them, honestly, you don't see them. Well, we decided we wanted to quantify the distribution of rocks. And here is this area outlined in dark black there. This is that green area on the previous map. We established 108 sites with a GPS on a map. And then with a GPS, we visited each one of these sites and searched for 18 minutes. We wanted to normalize the selection, the search process, so we didn't over-collect in areas where the collection was easier or the rocks were larger and more interesting. I'll show you what the results from one of these sites, this area here, which is about 8 kilometers from the summit of the volcano. And in 18 minutes, this is what we collected. A wide variety of rocks that, believe me, they don't belong to the old lava surface on which they rest. This eruption took place about 950 AD. And remember, the surface on which they rest is more than 2,000 years old. Well, we've quantified our measurements from the 18-minute searches, and this map is difficult to understand, so I'm going to show you that the rocks, the largest rocks in this area are about as large as a big grapefruit, like this. Then you have oranges, and you have golf balls down by the ocean. This is an extraordinary distribution of rocks, believe me. Okay, and another thing that's extraordinary is that the rock in the foreground, which is one of these foreign rocks, its diameter is thicker than the ash deposit that hosts it. Most of the ash deposit has been eroded away and leaving these rocks isolated on the surface, but the eruption is peculiar. A small eruption, huge rocks, great distances. Okay, what kind of eruption produced this deposit? Well, one having a hot convecting column. This is a typical eruption. This is down in the Eastern Caribbean in 1979. One having a convecting column, and these convecting columns are made of hot ash, and they will entrain rocks and cinders and whatnot to some height. But believe me, this kind of an eruption is not going to lift this rock to any great height. Cannon-like eruption? Well, you know, ballistics are something the military talks about, but volcanologists talk in those terms also. But ballistics are such that they're not going to apply. The air drag forces, if you shoot this cannon-like mass into still air, it's not going to go very far. The drag, it just brings it right down. What we're dealing with, and we have figured this out at last, a two-tiered situation. The black arrows show the trade winds coming in from the northeast. They're the prevailing winds at the surface. But up at higher altitudes, the jet stream in Hawaii often is oriented as you see here. And in profile, these data are supplied by the Weather Service, where they release weather balloons twice a day down in Hilo, and average 100 feet per second. And there's arrows, that shows you a proposed kind of situation, an eruption that will carry these class up into the jet stream, where motion of the jet stream deflects their rise, their fall, and they fall down to the ground. And then the distances between 5 and 12 miles, that's how you get that far. So the jet stream turns out to be extremely important. So rocks like this, 5 miles, this is crazy. Here's another, that rock is real. We took it back and washed it off and put it back in the outcrop. But you see the ash deposit that hosts it is thinner than the diameter of the rock. Okay, what in the world is going on here? We're dealing with a very unusual event that the small volume of debris erupted makes us think that something very unusual is happening. And so it's obviously driven either by steam or by CO2. And steam, of course, condenses. And a jet of steam coming out would not lift class up into the jet stream, where the jet stream can deflect its rise and fall. So we're on the edge of, for me, the most exciting research and relevant research of my career. Kilauea is generally thought to be the world's best understood volcanoes. Please think again. Thanks very much.